Hello everyone and welcome to our 100th episode of Big Blue News. I'm your host, Yasa.
And I'm Alex. Did you say 100th episode?
Yes, I did. 100. This is our the very first episode of Big Blue News was recorded on October 6, 2017. Many of the students who worked on that show have graduated from college at this point.
And one of those students, in fact, the very first host, Leah Pashkova, is in here in the studio with us. For our 100th episode of Big Blue News, Sasha is here live in the studio with Leah Pashkova, the host of the first episode of Big Blue News.
Hello, Leah, and welcome back to the set of Big Blue News. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'm going to interview you, and I have a few questions about your Big Blue News experience and your outside life. So for my first question, tell us a bit about what you've done since you graduated from Swampscott High School.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Well, it's been, like 8 years? So I was in college, graduated from college, I got a job. Still have the job, did not graduate the job yet. Finished my musical last night. So that was
Congratulations.
fun. Thank you. Thank you. Very exciting.
Very For my second question, since you were in that first class, can you tell us any memories about how Big Blue News started?
Yeah, so it was just like a class that we got split up into a few different groups, and then the groups were like to pick what show they were going to do for that semester. And then our group, well, like one of the people in our group was like, oh, like we should do like a little news segment situation. So we were like, okay, sounds good. And then we were like distributing the roles, and I was like, I want something that doesn't require me to do like a ton of homework because I had like a lot of other classes. And then, well, obviously everyone has a lot of classes, but y'all know what I mean. And then she was like, yeah, like you can, if you're fine with being on camera, can you like do that? Because no one really wanted to have to do that. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So then that was that. And that was fun.
Yeah, I can relate. Last year I was thrown as anchor so many times because no one else wanted to do it.
I know. If you're like if you're like fine with people perceiving you, it's like cool.
So, as you walked in, you said that it felt like a spaceship kind of because there's so much new technology and so many new things.
No, I'm like looking at like the lights. Like we didn't have that. Or like the green screen that goes like all the way around. I don't think we had that. I think we had like this little thing behind us, or like so many screens and like flashing lights. I'm like in awe. This is awesome.
Very, very tech. I love it here. Other than that, is anything else different from when you were here?
I don't know. I mean, it was like a little bit, but everyone seemed so like confident and like into it. And I'm sure that was like a thing back then too, but I'm just like so impressed. Like looking at all of you guys, like it's just so like together. Like you guys seem to know what you're doing. And like there's so much happening.
Yes, very hard work put into by all of us here, and I'm very proud.
Good job, y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause.
For my fourth question, what are some of the skills that you think students get out of being part of a live newscast, both the technical and the journalistic roles?
I mean, it's like hard to gauge for me the hard skills, right? Because that's not the career path that I went on. I work at GE, not journalism or anything. But all the collaboration, like being able to figure out when to delegate, when to trust that the other person is going to do whatever thing you're asking them to do, and like do it right, and actually doing it. It's a lot of these like soft skills of collaboration that I think are super helpful whatever career y'all end up going into.
Teamwork is very, very important. And for my last question, what are some of your own goals that you have?
Okay, right now it's a little bit hard for me to answer because again, I just closed a musical. Like my brain has not like rewired into normal day-to-day life. But I guess I want to get a promotion at work. I want to get better at time management. I always want to get better at time management. Everyone wants to get better at time management. Actual goals, like the next goal, I don't know, I'm ready to audition for another show.
You want to tell us more about the musicals that you do?
Well, Yeah, I did Sister Act. And that was really, really fun.
I bet. I loved it.
Recommend anyone. Go do things. Get fun hobbies.
Very fun.
You're gonna get obsessed with them, and then yeah. Anyways.
Anyways, we thank you so much for coming in and celebrating with us. It's been a long time, a long time.
It has been a long time. It's crazy.
Since 2017. But thank you so much again for for coming here today. We are so very grateful. Now, it's time to go back to the news desk.
Thank you, Sasha and Leah. Now, on to the news. At school committee meeting on November 6th, the committee voted 4-1 to accept the superintendent Jason Kalishman's goals. His first goal focuses on engaging in student growth from kindergarten through 12th grade, utilizing data from MCAS, iReady Diagnostics, and the district's new open architect system.
The idea when I was writing that goal was really about like, okay, I've been in the middle school for 14 years, but really I need to get a bigger, that satellite lens that I talked about, like what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses? I know them from 5 to 8, but I don't know them, well I have an idea, but I'm learning now what we do really well and where we have relative areas of growth.
Kalishman's second goal is to strengthen relationships with families, students, and community partners. He plans to attend weekly school events, publish a monthly superintendent's newsletter through Parent Square, and hold community meetings at local gatherings like the farmers market and block parties.
With goal 1 was, like I said before, was to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the entire K through 12.
The addition of Mr. Kalishman in the superintendent's role seems to be a great fit, and we are looking forward to seeing how his plans and actions improve the school system.
An historic Swampscott restaurant Hawthorne by the Sea has closed last weekend after almost 80 years of service. The Hawthorne first opened in 1946 and was later relocated to the spot it is now in 1967, right by Kings Beach. Historically, from 1900 until the relocation of Hawthorne, Humphrey Street has been retained a row of buildings. Several years ago, Swampscott purchased the property, and the Hawthorne Reuse Advisory Committee has been working with the public to consider various plans for the site, and an open meeting for an official vote for the plan was concluded on November 19th, and this committee presented the plan on November 20th at the Select Board meeting. The committee preferred plan G1 consists of buildings perpendicular to the main road with an archway, a courtyard, and a parking area, and the Select Board will now take the committee's recommendations under advisement. This is a big project for Swampscott as it means letting go of a historic restaurant yet making space for something new.
Recently, Ecuadorian and Spanish officials collaborated in the major arrest of the Los Lobos leader, Wilmer Pipo Chavarria, who led one of the biggest drug trafficking operations in Ecuador. This comes during a time in Ecuador where gangs such as Los Lobos are fighting for control within the country. President Noboa of Ecuador has defined his goals for his presidency as a crackdown on drug-related gangs, with help from foreign powers such as Spain and the United States. At the time of Chavarria's arrest, Ecuadorians are currently voting on a 4-part bill to amend Ecuador's constitution to allow foreign nations to have military bases within Ecuador. As Noboa argues, it is essential to assist with his crackdown on drug-related gangs.
Bangladesh's leader Sheikh Hasina was recently sentenced to death by the country's tribunal court. She is currently in India, where she fled after a 2024 uprising. The court found her guilty of crimes against humanity for the violent suppression of student protests that toppled her regime in 2024. She faces 5 charges, inciting the killings at protests, ordering demonstrators to be hanged, ordering the use of lethal weapons, and the use of drones and helicopters to suppress people. When the verdict was handed down, some people cheered within the courtroom. Hasina remains in India, where the court demanded that India extradites her. It is not yet clear if that will happen, and the interim government is being led right now by former Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus.
Each year, students from all over Massachusetts have an opportunity to audition for the Senior District course. We in Swampscott are a part of the Northeast District of Massachusetts. There have been 6 accepted students here at SHS. Michael Schwartz, Christy Vanden, Scout Meyer-Smith, Hadley Husted, Neve Murphy, and Kira Madrugo are all taking part in the Northeastern Chorus Show. And after being accepted, these students must take on an intensive rehearsal for 3 days in January before the 200-voice chorus show concert on January 10th. Chorus teacher Mr. Pierce said it's a great opportunity because a school doesn't usually have 200 kids in chorus. After the district show, the same students will be recommended for a statewide show. Fortunately, all of the accepted students for the district show have received a high enough score to be recommended for an all-state audition. The all-state is very similar to the district show, but they perform at a higher level at Symphony Hall in Boston. And now we'll go to Rosalie Redden at the entertainment desk.
Thanks, Alex. Let's start with some local entertainment. This evening, from 6:30 to 9 p.m., multiple bands will perform in a Battle of the Bands competition at the Swampscott Auditorium. This is a fundraiser for the band and chorus trip to Universal Studios in the spring. The lineup will include the Big Blue Marching Band, the Middle School Band, accompanied by Miss Zotto, a group of high school teachers, and Turtle on a String. There will also be an MC and a few raffles, with winners receiving gift cards for free classes receiving gift cards or free classes at local gyms and restaurants. According to Mr. Rovey, it will be a night to showcase the numerous talented students and staff that we have here at SPS. Now, onto the national music scene. Olivia Dean appeared on Saturday Night Live and performed Man I Need and Let Alone the One You Love, wearing a sparkly gold dress. She is promoting her second studio album, The Art of Loving, which debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200 chart. She's been nominated for the Best New Artist for the 2026 Grammy Awards, and many of her fans hope she wins. Olivia Dean and Alex Warren recently announced arena tours. The Art of Loving Tour and Little Orphan Alex Live both will be stopping at TD Garden next year. Olivia Dean on August 10th and Alex Warren on July 13th. This will be both of their first times performing at TD Garden in Boston. Moving to television, Stranger Things Season 5 is releasing on November 26th. This will be the final season of the show with 3 volumes released at different times. The first volume will be on the first 4 episodes on November 26th. The second volume, episodes 5 through 6, release on December 25th. And on New Year's Eve, December 31st, the final episode of Stranger Things will be released, ending the series once and for all. Episodes will typically be an hour long each. Many new games are being released this month. As we look at some of the new releases, one stands out among the rest. Dispatch by Ad Hoc Studio managed to sell over 1 million copies in its first 10 days and reached a peak concurrent player count of 220,060 players. Dispatch is a new story-driven superhero game where you manage a team of former villains trying to turn their lives around. The game forces the player to make many difficult decisions that affect how the story plays out. It also features many popular figures as voice actors, like Aaron Paul, Matthew Mercer, Young Gravy, as well as Charles White and Sean McLaughlin, known online as Moist Critical and Jacksepticeye respectively. Additionally, a new game has sparked quite a controversy. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is currently under fire for potential use of AI artwork within the game. This has led to numerous scathing reviews, as well as 7 becoming the worst reviewed Call of Duty game in the entire franchise. Movies are also looking sharp, with Wicked for Good being released to the public on November 21st. The first Wicked movie, released in 2024, set a world record as the highest grossing movie ever based on a Broadway musical, surpassing Mamma Mia. Chainsaw Man the movie was released in the States on October 24th, 2025. It grossed an estimated $168 million worldwide and has a verified 98% ratings. Many fan reviews said it had smooth passing and was beautifully animated, along with how it kills in every way, visually and emotionally. That's it for entertainment. Now we go to the sports desk with Rayon and Joey.
Thanks, Rosalie. The Swampscott flag football team lost to Marblehead this weekend with the final score 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. They lost by 1 field goal, and there was one pass throughout the game, which was actually intercepted by Marblehead from the Big Blue. It was supposed to be a run play, but it was misinterpreted and went against the play. Although it was a very anticlimactic game, there were multiple flags throughout this game in which Marblehead had a very big touchdown run, but it was taken away because of a flag, and there were very back and forth short drives throughout the game.
Yeah, the amount of flags that there were kind of shocking to see, and it pretty much ruined both teams, mainly Swampscott during the first half, and then it came to bite Marblehead back in the second, making it much harder for them to actually compete against each other overall.
Yeah, I agree. They did much better this year, though, compared to last year. They stayed at 0-0 for pretty much the entire game until the last 40 seconds of the game, where they scored a field goal. Right now we're taking a look at their touchdown run that got called back because of a flag.
Yeah, you can see as how many people that player dodged. She dodged many people trying to pull her flags from Swampscott, and you may or may not have been able to see the flag thrown just shortly earlier on in the play. And now you're going to look at the field goal, which just went through, bringing the game 3-0 at 32 seconds left.
Yeah. Moving on to boys football, the Big Blue play against Marblehead in their last game on Thanksgiving Day, November 27th, away at Marblehead. This year, the boys are actually 7-3 with it. It's a pretty solid record. And although they had a pretty senior-heavy team last year, they lost to Marblehead at Fenway. And this team is being led by their two captains, Will Bush and Vaughn Hazel. Speaking about Will Bush, he's hit 1,000 rushing yards this season, so congratulations to him for that huge accomplishment.
Yeah, that really is great to see. And you play football, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you think you feel about this upcoming game?
I mean, we've had a week to practice. We're also, we got a few more days to practice this week, get ready for Marblehead. They're a pretty solid team, but just as a team, we need to stay focused. We can't have stupid mistakes. We've got to take care of the ball. But overall, it's going to be a great environment. I think we're all ready to play against the Magicians on Thursday.
All right, that's great to hear. We're going to move on to volleyball, in which we have footage for. The girls volleyball team had a good season with a record of 15-7. They had won their first playoff game against Saugus, yet they lost their last game on November 1st against Pembroke with a score of 0-3. Sophomore player Alex Alkazov said, "The season ended pretty great. It was really exciting, and I'm looking forward to next season." It was a pretty good season overall for them. Being able to actually even make it into playoffs is quite the big achievement.
I agree. Congratulations to the volleyball team. Moving on to boys and girls soccer. So for boys soccer, they had a pretty senior-heavy team this year with most of the lineup being made up of seniors. And it was led by their three senior captains, George Spelios, Malad Sasson, Nico Croft, all of them being all-stars and captains respectively. George Spelios had 7 goals this season, with Malad Sasson carrying with 4 goals and Nico Croft with 5 goals of his own. Being a senior-heavy team is very interesting to see how the team's going to look like next year and which juniors are going to have to step up.
Yeah, definitely 100%. I'm really looking forward to the next year's season, though, as the current juniors and sophomores of our grade, they've done really well. Especially even having sophomores on a varsity team is quite the big deal for not only them but the team itself, to show how much potential these kids actually have. So I am very excited for next year.
I agree. Moving on to girls varsity soccer, they had a pretty strong season with a record of 8-5-5. They had some very, very talented players such as Greta Siefkin, who stepped up this season, and she was easily one of their top players. They played against Winthrop. She had a 40-yard goal. She really stepped up this season.
Yeah, she did many really great, along with others such as Lila and Chloe Rogers, the sister duo. They were always really good between passing and actually being able to make exceptional plays with players such as Jenny Sanchez and Cecilia Tripp.
Yeah,
it was always great to see all of these players working together on the field.
Move on to field hockey. Girls varsity field hockey had a very good season last year. The previous seniors are gone, and looking forward to the new roster of people is for a very promising season. They have a high-scoring team last year with a good win-to-loss ratio.
And as you can kind of see here, this is the girls varsity soccer game, field hockey game, my apologies, against Peabody. So you can kind of see many goals being scored, or not too many rather, but Swampscott definitely keeping it up against Peabody, bringing it 2-0. And as we make it into the fourth quarter, it seems as if it's going to be another one. But that's going to be just about it that we have for field hockey. And we're going to go on to boys basketball. So the boys basketball, they had a pretty good season last year with a record of 13-8.
Yeah.
And player Chase Gruthius had this to say: "We're going to be very strong. We're going to be good." That was just about it, nothing more. But the team had some tough games last season, but are looking good and are confident for the upcoming season.
Yeah, especially being led by their captains and Connor Torello, who's been a starter since freshman year, and Chase Gruthius, who's also going to be a starter this year. It's very interesting to see how far the boys make it, and especially how far they can make it into playoffs.
It's great to see how dedicated these kids can be. But we're going to move on to girls basketball. They had a pretty good season as well, with just one less win than boys, having a record of 12-8. They made the playoffs last season, but lost the end to Foxborough, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although it is very interesting to see how they made the playoffs last year without any seniors on their roster, but after the development in their team, they're looking even better for this season, so good luck to the girls' basketball team.
On to boys and girls hockey. The tryouts are now over, and many players wanted to join the teams, but unfortunately not every player made it. Hockey has been a sorry, you can go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. Hockey's currently co-ed with Salem. After last year, hopefully they have a much better season, and good luck to the hockey team.
Yeah, that's about all for us. So that's all for sports. Back to the news desk.
Thanks, Rayon. Here are our upcoming events. The Battle of the Bands is tonight at 7 p.m. at Swampscott High School. You don't want to miss that. Thanksgiving Day football. The Big Blue takes on the Headers. Thursday, November 27th at 10 a.m. at Marblehead High School. Swampscott Fall Town Meeting is like Monday, December 1st at 7 p.m. at Swampscott High School. The SHS Guidance Department Junior Parent Night is Monday, December 8th at 7 p.m. in RMB 129 at Swampscott High School. Swampscott High School Winter Art Show with Chorus and a Band concert is Wednesday, December 10th at 7 p.m. Swampscott High School School's Atrium and Auditorium. Swampscott's Community Jazz Orchestra, the Big Blue Band, will be performing Duke Ellington's Nutcracker Suite on Sunday, December 14th at 2 p.m. at Swampscott Auditorium. And finally, the Swampscott Middle School Chorus and Band concert is Tuesday, December 16th at 7 p.m. at the Swampscott High School Auditorium. To end our 100th episode of Big Blue News, let's take a look at some of our best moments with a highlight reel.
Of SHS. Happy first week of October and welcome to the pilot episode of Big Blue News. Today we're
layers to it. I got really interested in it and I started researching it, and now I think it was one of the best halftime shows that ever.
Okay.
We're going to start the timer right now.
All right, let's see the master at work.
So how long do you think you've been doing this for?
Couple years now. I know I learned in 5th grade. How often do you practice? Not a lot anymore, but I used to practice every day for multiple hours.
What goes through your mind when you're doing this?
Nothing really, it's mostly muscle memory. Wow.
In the last 4 years. The boys hockey team is at 8-9-3 facing off versus PVD Saugus on Wednesday night. They were severely short-handed as they were without all 3 of their captains due to injury and sickness, as Will Roddy, Derek Fea, and Quinn Hitchcock all were inactive for this one.
In the last couple of games has been our defense. We play strong defense, we create opportunities for the offense.
Hi, my name is Olivia Quagliarello. I'm a freshman and I play point guard and shooting guard. I think we have a great chance at making playoffs as long as we play how we have been.
The boys hockey team is sitting at a 3-2-2 record after dropping their last 2 games to Masco and Somerville. Captains Derek Fea and Will Roddy are tied for the team lead in goals with 6, Derek leading in points with 11. Don Pavalardo has been the team's best player in net. He has a save percentage of .942, one of the tops in the entire league. They will be back on the ice Wednesday
at Swampscott Public Schools.
Our network is not designed for everybody in the building to have multiple devices connected to it at once. So if
Scott and Marblehead High. We hope to see you at the game. Good luck to both teams, and don't forget to...
Kiara, and I am with Mr. Kalishman, or other known as Mr. Swampscott. I would just have 2 questions that I would like to ask. One of the questions is, how is this year's different from last year's?
This year's open house is significantly different than last year's. I've never been to an open house in any scenario where families walk into the marching band playing Mr. Brightside.
Principal, Ms. Otto, we thank you for coming on the show, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
So what?
Playing one of their first games later on this week, I do believe. It is unfortunately not a home game. I believe they need a win against the team they're playing against.
Single elimination there, finishing at a home record of 4-0.
We thank you for joining us on episode 100 of Big Blue News. We want to thank Leah Pashkova again for joining us today. Yosef, what do you think the next 100 episodes will bring?
I think the next 100 episodes will be as great as the last 100 episodes. I look forward to the new development and all the great things we're going to come along the way. And finally, be sure to like and subscribe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Wow.